Even as talk of a possible agreement grows, Iran insists it remains militarily prepared and unwilling to lower its guard. The Revolutionary Guards say their forces remain on high alert despite diplomatic efforts to reduce tensions. Iran says negotiations do not change its military posture and that its deterrent capabilities remain fully operational. Tehran warned that any future aggression would be met with a swift and painful response from its armed forces. Iran says it welcomes diplomacy, but insists strength and deterrence remain at the center of its strategy. The Revolutionary Guards claimed Iran is closely monitoring enemy movements and remains fully aware of developments across the region. Iran said its military remains prepared for any scenario and is ready to react immediately to potential threats. The IRGC claimed recent events have strengthened Iran's military posture and enhanced its deterrence capabilities. Tehran warned that any future attack or miscalculation by its adversaries would trigger swift and forceful retaliation. IRGC statement read, and I quote, "Today, the Islamic Republic of Iran, drawing on the valuable experiences of the sacred defense and the historic battles of the 12-day and 40-day imposed wars, stands in a stronger, more prepared, and more deterrent position than ever before. With full awareness of the enemy front's movements, we remain with fingers on the trigger, ready to deliver a decisive, immediate, painful, and regret-inducing response to any threat, aggression, encroachment, or potential miscalculation by the enemy." Unquote. The IRGC said its adversaries misjudged Iran's capabilities and failed to achieve their objectives during the conflict. The warning came even as President Trump expressed confidence that a deal with Tehran may be finalized in the coming days. President Trump says a breakthrough in U.S. Iran negotiations may be closer than ever, with a possible agreement expected within days. Speaking at the White House, Trump revealed that key documents are being finalized as negotiators work toward a formal deal. Trump insisted that both sides are eager to reach an understanding, describing the current momentum as highly encouraging.
Mr. President, on Iran, how confident are you that there will be a signing this weekend? Because you have come close to sealing a deal, but at the last minute it has fallen apart. And
it'll be soon, maybe this weekend.
And has the Supreme Leader approved this deal, sir?
I understand the answer is yes.
And when this deal is signed, is the United States going to immediately lift the blockade?
Yes, that's true. That's part of the deal.
And
you'll have oil prices dropping like a rock.
But has Iran committed to not pursuing a nuclear weapon, or will there be more negotiations on that down the line?
They will not have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that. There will be no, which is the whole reason. Which is a big part of the reason.
Is that going to be in your agreement, sir?
They will not only not have, they will not purchase, develop in any way, any shape, in any way, shape, or form a nuclear weapon. They will not have a nuclear weapon.
But it's just the concept of that agreement when it comes to nuclear. You said this was just the concept of that agreement. So is this just essentially setting the stage for deeper talks on nuclear?
It's a very strong memorandum of understanding. That is a little conceptual, but it's something that's going to get done. And if it doesn't get done for any reason, which I can't imagine that not happening, they want to sign it as much as I do or more. I would say they want to sign it more, maybe a lot more. But it's a very detailed memorandum of understanding, also agreed to by many other countries that have great influence over them. And everybody wants it done. So it's going to get done.
Mr. President, is there a specific amount of time that has to pass between this memorandum of understanding and a final deal being done?
Well, we hope it's going to go relatively quickly, but it's...
Is there a 60 or 90
I mean, the straits are going to open immediately. It's upon signing. Maybe it'll be Saturday or Monday.
Or is there a deadline, though, to get from this to a final deal?
We think it's going to go pretty quickly. I don't want to say a deadline because if I say a deadline, you'll say, oh, he didn't meet the deadline. You know, this is like, it's not going to matter much because it's going to get signed.
Qatar's leadership has remained actively involved in mediation efforts, holding direct talks with Trump on the proposed agreement. According to Qatar, the framework emerging from negotiations has received broad backing from the key stakeholders involved. Doha praised ongoing diplomatic efforts, expressing hope that a deal could help bring stability back to the region. Diplomatic sources say negotiators made significant progress, narrowing several of the key gaps that had stalled talks for months. The latest negotiations reportedly centered on the release of frozen Iranian funds, maritime security in Hormuz, and the future of nuclear discussions. Officials familiar with the talks say Qatar's mediation helped produce an agreement in principle, raising hopes of a broader breakthrough. Qatar Emir's office statement read, and I quote, "During the call, the two leaders discussed the close strategic relations between the two countries and ways to support and enhance them in addition to the latest regional and international developments, particularly those related to diplomatic efforts for de-escalation in the region," unquote. Despite progress in negotiations, reports suggest the proposed agreement cannot move forward without final approval from Iran's highest leadership. Sources say Iran's leadership is carefully reviewing the terms of the understanding before deciding whether to formally endorse the deal. Iranian media reports indicate that Tehran is still reviewing the proposed framework and has not yet delivered its final response in the negotiations. Officials in Tehran dismissed reports suggesting an agreement has already been finalized, saying discussions are still ongoing. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai cautioned against speculation, stressing that no official announcement has been made regarding a final deal. Ismail Baghai said, and I quote, "Textually, the text has almost been finalized in its major parts. The problem is that the contradictory positions of the United States have always caused turbulence and disruption in this process. While they speak of diplomacy and negotiations, they simultaneously resort to force, illegal actions, and criminal behavior. Iran has proven in practice that its red lines are the interests and welfare of the Iranian nation, and there will be absolutely no compromise in this regard. Had the Islamic Republic intended to retreat from its principled positions under pressure and threats, it would have done so 1.5 years ago. We have proven that we stand firm. The decision-making process in our country is completely clear. The relevant authorities must review every detail of the text. As soon as we reach a final conclusion that serves the interests of the Iranian nation, it will be officially announced," unquote. Baghai claimed the United States has repeatedly shifted its stance during talks, creating uncertainty and slowing diplomatic progress. Tehran argued that continued American military operations are complicating efforts to reach a lasting political settlement. Iran criticized the U.S. for pursuing diplomacy on one hand while authorizing military strikes on the other. Iranian officials stressed that Tehran remains committed to its core principles and will not back down under pressure. Tehran says any deal must safeguard Iran's national interests, security concerns, and sovereign rights. With diplomacy accelerating and tensions still high, both sides appear to be nearing a critical turning point in the crisis.